This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. So I think it's good that we've now heard from Zlatan, we've heard from LeBron, because because I wanted to come at this from a football point of view. Rather than a sporting point of view, I want to come at this from a footballing point of view. So I really want to focus on where Zlatan is coming from. So obviously LeBron responded by saying, look, I'm still going to do what I want to do because, I feel that I am educated in this and I have a community that I serve. And that is what I want to do, man. So, because I mean, the LeBron thing, I'll probably do it on my other channel with regards to some criticism towards what he said. But I want to just focus on the back of it, but specifically what Zlatan said. So Zlatan says that, because for Zlatan, there are two sides to it. So he says, as a sports person, so LeBron, he's amazing at what he does, but when it comes to politics, he should stay out of it and focus on what he's good at. Because when he speaks, or when sports people speak, it can look bad. And I think he's alluding to when you may not be educated on it because you're a sports person. You've not gone to specific classes or read specific books because you've not been forced to read specific books because there are people who dedicate their entire lives 24/7 to knowing about certain histories and so forth. That is what they do 24/7. As a basketball star, football star, tennis star, UFC star, and so forth, your life is focused mainly on your sport. If you have time, you may read a book here and there, but your focus is being the very best at your sport. That is your focus. Whereas that's the focus of a professor or of this teacher or of this individual who is focused on African American studies, on particular histories of different civilizations and so forth. That is what they do. That is their thing. That is like their sport. So for Ibra, I think his point is, look, if that's not your thing, don't do so. But here's the thing, and it comes to politics, and this is what I always say with people with politics. So I'm a football guy, and someone shoots someone or beats someone up. I can't say what I think about it. A leader in my country says something or puts forth a controversial initiative. I don't have a reaction. Everybody has a political point of view. If you say, oh, I don't care, that's a political point of view that maybe you're probably like a pacifist or so forth. Politics isn't like some separate kind of thing. Politics is life. Everybody has a view on something. If someone gets a gun and shoots someone out of self-defense, he was right. That's a political point of view. He was wrong. That's a political point of view. Well, he should have done, or probably if that politics is your view on life. Because you are either a liberal, you are either a conservative, you're either a centrist, you're either center left, you're either center right, you're either independent, you're either liberal, you're something. Everyone is something, because you may be, I'm a left, but a little bit right, so maybe I am left center, or maybe I'm right, but I got left, so maybe I'm right center, so you are something. Everybody has a political makeup. So for me, all because I'm a football star, I shouldn't talk about politics. Isn't like a separate entity and stuff, because I'll get to what the issue is. I'll get to what the issue is, but the issue isn't as a football star you should stay out of politics. No, like if you have a point of view, but I want to tweet stuff, I have a right to put it out. This is how I feel. I think what this person is doing is wrong. Is wrong. I'm not. I don't want to be a political leader. I'm not forcing you to listen. That's the key thing. Focus on what I'm not forcing you to listen. I am just saying, I think this is wrong. That he shouldn't have shot this dude in self-defense. I think that's wrong. I think it's right. He should have shot this dude in self-defense because that's my viewpoint. Yes, I'm a football star and football is my main thing, but I'm a human being that lives in this world. And as a human being that lives in this world, that lives in this country, and the decisions that could perhaps affect me, affect my family, affect my friends, affect people that I know, I have a right to have a certain viewpoint upon it. So where does the problem lie? The problem lies with society. The problem lies with society, with how much power we give to sports stars. That's the issue. It's how much power that we give to sports stars. Because the regular dude, if Professor so and so says, well, this is our who's this dude? But if LeBron, if Neymar, if Messi, if Cristiano, if Ramos says something, specifically Messi and Cristiano say something, oh, then people will be like, blah, blah, blah. Because the reality is this: people are more drawn to and hang on to the words that someone famous says. And I think that a Messi and Cristiano, they realize that. Because Messi and Cristiano, of course, they have a political point of view. Of course, they feel that certain things that have happened in the world, whether through what Trump did or whether through what happens in the UN or specific words, they have a view that that was wrong, that was right. Oh, I support that. But they know that they have millions of followers. And they know that anything they say, anything they do could be very influential. So they know that anything that they say, people will take upon it. Now, the key thing is this, is that it's not that, oh, no, they shouldn't speak because they don't know anything about politics. Of course they should speak. But the issue with our world is we believe that all because you're famous, what you say politically has any weight. The issue isn't the sports stars, the issue is us, society. That we treat sports stars more importantly than they should be treated. You should respect everyone's point of view, but you should perhaps give a bit more respect to somebody who's done the research and has seen both sides of the coin and knows the history of bearing arms and knows the history of specific healthcare initiatives, that knows the history of how armies work, how conflicts work, and the specific history of the conflicts of this country that you are invading and the fallout of you invading that country and so forth, because they have been well versed in all of the different intricacies and complexities of a specific decision. So they don't know the history of the police force and why the police force are doing certain things that if they don't do that, it will lead to this, because here's my history of how this works, and if this doesn't work, this is what has happened because I've seen a pattern, because I've done the research. Because a sports star, you don't have time to do that research and know that, okay, well, if I say this, have I considered X? Have I considered Y? Have I considered that? Have I considered this and that? And then if you say those things, people will say, oh, well, how dare you? It's like, okay, imagine if Messi or Cristiano said, man, Israel is really effing up, man. Or what if they say, man, these Palestinians, man, these Hezbollah, these guys are wild, man. What the hell are they doing? And then someone will say, bro, have you read the history? Have you looked at this point of view? Have you looked at that point of view? Have you looked at that point of view? How could you dare do that? Because this means something to us. So that is why for a Messi and Cristiano, because these guys are so incredibly influential, they're like, they have their view. 100%. Messi and Cristiano, I'm sure they have a view as to, I think Israel's right. I think the Palestinians are right. But they're going to keep that to themselves because they know how influential they are, because they know that millions of people will take up their word more so than somebody who's far better educated in the history of that conflict. So to go back to Zlatan, is like, for me, that's what I said. Football stars, they should speak. They should speak, because everybody has a political point of view. But the issue is, if you are going to speak, that's the thing, if you're going to speak, you should be extremely well educated. And for LeBron, he says, no, I am extremely well educated in what I'm saying. And if anybody wants to ask me any questions, I can fire back. I can respond. I'm not just saying this on the whim, so I can fire back. But for, like, let's say a Messi and Cristiano, they may have a point of view, but they don't feel that they're perhaps as well educated as LeBron or ready to answer any questions back into what they say. So they say, look, man, I have my points of view and so forth, but I've not done the research. I just have this point of view. So if I've not done this research, I think it would be poor for me to come out on my platform, say this thing, and then once people now ask me questions, I'm like, but for LeBron, it's like, why? No, I'm not like Messi and Cristiano. I am well researched here. I do know what I'm talking about. So if anybody has any issues with what they say, bring it on, and I will respond in kind. So, but the issue is the society. Is why in society do we give so much importance to what actors, celebrities, musicians, sports stars say? How about you go and listen to someone else, or even better, you do the research, you find out the information yourself, and you come up with your point of view rather than relying on what a guy who kicks a ball around, throws a ball around, sings, pretends to be other people, or a celebrity says. Or even someone who is even educated says, okay, even if they're educated, you do the education and you make your point of view rather than relying on someone else. It's the laziness of society that just say, oh, what's this famous person? What is this famous person? No. What about you? You do your research. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Yes, no, agree, disagree. Tell me below. Like that vid, subscribe.